Hi beautifuls, welcome back. I'm Robin Majors and today we're going to talk about depression. So I struggle with depression. Um, I have probably most of my life. Um, Maybe why part of the reason there's been no videos in a while. Um, but I want to share my experiences of what depression looks like for me and a lot of other people, and how I get myself through the tough times, because I know like a lot of us are going through tough times right now. Maybe people that don't usually even deal with depression are feeling, down, and a kind of a long-term effect of being down and depressed. You know, um, Depression says don't do anything good for yourself. Stay in bed, leave the blinds closed, dark, lay in the dark, run those tapes in your head of the negative thoughts talking about yourself, it tells you not to eat good. It says just eat that crap. You deserve it, right? Like you said, you need to feel better, which maybe a little that's okay, but when it starts going long term, it definitely is not good for you. It says stay in bed, give up on life, you can't do it. It tells you everything negative, and I, was struggling with all of that. And even on my worst days, when I had the blinds closed and laid in bed all day, I forced myself up and I would go for a walk. And sometimes it just sucked, but I made myself do it. And even if I didn't feel better in that moment, the next day I always would feel a little bit better. But I still was not doing the greatest. And my daughter kind of called me out and she was like, "You've been really mean to yourself lately." And I was like, ooh, maybe she's right. And then I was on Instagram, and this woman I follow had posted and said that she, was going through some really hard times, and she was scared that she was going to revert back to her old ways, basically her old coping mechanisms, that weren't healthy, that weren't good for her. And I just commented on it and I said, I really understand how you're feeling and your fears, but try to remember you're not the person you were then. You've like grown and healed and gathered a lot more positive skills or healthy coping mechanisms, and you have support, so you're not in the same place you were then. So try to keep that in mind, and lean into the healthy is what I told her. And she of course responded and said thank you. But I started to think about that whole phrase of lean into the healthy, and how I had not been leaning into the healthy. Probably, sorry, leaning into the, depression more so, or trying to battle it, not doing a very successful job. But as that whole phrase, lean into the healthy, just like kept rambling in my brain, I decided I needed to take my own advice. It's real easy to tell somebody something, but it's a lot harder to like do it yourself, right? But that's what I did. Um, yeah, I leaned into the healthy. I decided even if I had to wake up every morning and cry, I was going to wake up, cry, and get on with my day and get through it the best that I could. And I amped up the exercise. I quit smoking. Well, quit vaping. I'd already quit smoking a year ago, but I am 32 days nicotine free. Walking / running more so, and I'm feeling much better. So I think it's really important to One, monitor your thoughts. Watch the negative self-talk, the negative tapes. It's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to get you anywhere out of that bed. It's not going to help you at all. So anytime you catch yourself going down the path or even reliving those negative experiences or whatever, just say stop. I want you to just tell yourself to stop. And like every time you catch yourself doing it, stop. Eventually you'll do it less, and you'll have to, it'll be hard at first, but the more you do it. So number 2 is do something. Anything. Just one thing. Doesn't matter how small it is. Like if it's just getting up, opening the blinds at the end of the day for a little while, letting sunlight in, changing your clothes or eating something healthy. Do one thing, and then each day do that thing and something new, and like build on that. Or even if for a week you finally get that one thing you can do every day, and then you can just add to it. And like keep adding those positive care, that positive self-care. Because that's super important, because depression tells you not to take care of yourself, and you have to take care of yourself. No matter how sad, cry while you take a bath, cry while you do your dishes. Sometimes that's what you have to do to get through it. Sometimes it's just that shitty. But I promise doing those small things sends a message to yourself that you care and that you love yourself. Okay? And those little things add up to making, eventually, lifting your depression, helping you feel a little bit better, instead of feeling quite so shitty every day. Sorry, I gotta refer to my notes. So 3, meet your own basic needs. Be your own parent. If you just start thinking of yourself as a child, especially when you're going through depression, would you give your baby a bath and clean your baby? Yes. Would you make sure your baby had healthy things to eat and was eating good? Or eating regularly? Yes, you would. Making sure your baby got exercise, got outside, all those things that you would do for something else. Even if you, don't want kids, your pet, whatever. You have to do that for you. Some of us never learned that from our parents. Some of us got, how to figure it out for ourselves, and we're still trying to figure it out. So, meet your own basic needs. Clean yourself. Change your clothes. Get something to eat. Try not to sleep 30 hours a day. Get some exercise. It's really important, because those little things, like I said, send messages to you that you love you. And when you do those things in a depression, the more you can keep doing them, even if the thing that you're sad about hasn't changed, your perspective has shifted from that negative thing to these positive messages, and you start to feel a little bit better, So 4, this is not a popular, I'm sure, but physical activity. When you are taking care of yourself physically, it leads to your mental health. And it's important. When you exercise, you're releasing all these positive chemicals and endorphins that make you feel better. It's a positive message you're sending just by doing that, even when you're sad, that, hey, I care about you, and I want to take care of you, and I want to help you feel better, which is important messages to send to ourselves. And maybe it sounds silly, but it is not. It is super, super important. I promise. And 5, just lean into the healthy. Whatever healthy habits you've created for yourself that the depression has said stop doing, force yourself to do those, or just do one of those things if that's all you can do, and just build on it, okay? Or you know, if you don't have a healthy self-care routine, like, this is the time to start adopting one. It's not gonna be easy. You know that. But being depressed and laying in bed and sad and crying all day isn't easy either. So if you could do some things that kind of suck now, but like down the road are gonna like make you feel better, like I would much rather like do those things and feel better than lay in bed and never get any better, because like I've been in both places, and the bed that leads you nowhere. This gets you up and out and like feeling better eventually, you know, because a lot of it is just shifting our perspective. You know, we get down and we just focus on all the bad, all the negative, all the discomfort, all the pain, you know? And sometimes we have totally legit reasons to be sad, totally legit reasons to be depressed, you know? And we do have to take time to be in those feelings and feel them. But sometimes those are really big, sad feelings, and we can't stay there forever. We have to go on with our life. We have to pick ourselves up and love ourselves, right? Give ourselves a big hug and, you know, take those steps to help ourselves feel better, because not all of us have somebody in our life that's going to be there for us or is going to say, you know, hey, what's going on? What's wrong? You know, like, so we have to do that for us. And that's super important. And that's what I've been doing. You know, I've been through the depression and just really started leaning into the healthy and, you know, did all these great things for myself, and I am feeling better. Yeah, there's still some sad, but this is a much better place to be. And I hope this helps you guys in some way if you're struggling, you know, because I know what it's like, and you're not the only one, and I love you guys so, so much, and I missed you a lot. Bye, beautifuls.